All right, well, let's bring on our next guest. Sophia Lowery is a outreach director for California Family Council. Matt Klink is a Republican strategist. And Matt, let's start with you. Your reaction to Heather's report.
Yeah, I watched the debate last night. It was the sixth debate that they've had. And look, the reporting is accurate. You know, Javier Becerra is the front runner. Everybody was trying to gang up on him. And while he fended off all of the attacks, it was just painful to watch. Just in general, because the voter enthusiasm in the state is really, really low right now.
Huh, interesting. It's a lot of people are shaking their heads that Javier is actually a front runner. People who know him, who've worked with him. I'm not just saying. Sophia, I want you to listen to this exchange, though, between a couple of the candidates during that debate last night.
We learned today that Javier, implicated in this corruption scandal, today we learned that he knew about illegal and improper payments from his campaign account to his former chief of staff. Honestly, and it pains me to say it because I like you personally, Javier, but you shouldn't be on this stage. You shouldn't be in this race. You should be preparing your criminal defense.
Sophia, never mind that that the moderator should have brought that up. Hilton did, and he did it pretty effectively, I thought. What did you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Hilton did. And at the end of the day, when you look at this, if Becerra can't even watch what his campaign manager is doing and see all the fraud happening within his own campaign, how are we expecting him to run the biggest state? So Hilton is so phenomenal for bringing that up. And yes, the moderators absolutely should have called Becerra out for that.
Matt, President Trump's self-proclaimed #1 fan, rapper Nicki Minaj, is doubling down, throwing her support for her commander-in-chief. Time magazine highlighting, as they put it, how Nicki Minaj went MAGA. Minaj also going into her relationship with Governor Gavin Newsom after requesting a meeting. Minaj said this. She said, "He just completely ignored me with all the money I spent in taxes." So, Matt, your reaction?
Look, it doesn't surprise me, that this is the challenge with California, that unless you fit the Democratic mold in a uniparty state where Democrats control every constitutional office and have held the governor's mansion or hold supermajorities in the legislature, they don't listen to disparate point of views. They don't care. They don't believe that they need anyone who doesn't agree with what the hive wants. So I respect Nicki Minaj for at least making the outreach. But look, if the governor would do it to Nicki Minaj, he also did it to the CEO of Chevron, who announced that they were moving their corporate headquarters to Texas.
Yeah, and spending $1 billion to leave, $1 billion to pack up and go. It was worth that much to Chevron to get out of town. Sophia, the table is not, the playing field is not level in California. We all know that. I mean, it is a heavily Democratic state, and they've tried to massage the rules there and the gerrymandering to make sure that they get more seats. But yet you have Steve Hilton, who is near the top of the pack, and so he will likely be on the ballot this fall. Is there a chance in your mind that California could get a Republican governor again?
I believe we could see that change happen. Californians want to change. After the LA fires, after the massive COVID lockdowns that we face more than any other state, I'm born and raised California. I'm 25 years old. I'm looking at the fact that I'll probably never be able to afford a home in California and will have to leave the state. I think a lot of other Gen Z feels that way, and we want a change in the state.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know.
Well, you understand the state. You live there.
I do. I live in California now, and I pay a ridiculous price to be there. You're right. It's really expensive. And there have been so many bad decisions made. I just don't know if voters are paying attention to what Newsom has done to the state, or they're really focused on the issues, and maybe they're just focused on, which candidate is a Democrat, and I'll vote for that guy.
Matt, what do you think?
Look, it's tough right now. I agree wholeheartedly. Right now, we know that the vote by mail returns are hovering at about 3%, which would mean we'll have probably a 25 to 30% turnout in the June ballot. The challenge that Republicans face, though, is that the math just doesn't work in our favor. Democrats outnumber Republican voters almost 2-1, and people are conditioned to just click the D box, in spite of the fact that the state's falling apart.
Yeah, it's true. Matt Klink and Sophia Lowery, we appreciate your time. Thank you.